So section 3 of the toolkit is all about social, emotional and mental health needs and reducing exclusions. And that's a real priority, Jo, for the local authority, because as you will know through your forum, some children and young people are excluded, do have fixed term and permanent exclusions, and there are a number of those that children and young people who have a special educational need. So section 3 is really important that we get that right. And at our launch, we had a fantastic speaker who's a head of a social, emotional, mental health special school, Jarlath O'Brien, who spoke so passionately and went down really well with our schools about the risks if we don't get this right. So really being quite open about the life chances then of children and young people who are excluded from school, and how that impacts on their mental health when they're adults. And I mean, we know this, but we have to keep reminding ourselves that what we really want in South Glos is a commitment not to exclude. That's what we're aiming for. And there are some exciting projects about how within our clusters we could perhaps develop alternative provision facilities so that a child would still remain at their school, but they might go and have some therapeutic work, some counselling work for a couple of hours a week with a teacher from their school and go back. So that's our next step. And that's what we're looking to grow. So section 3 absolutely looks at the different structures we've got in place at the moment, like the high risk group and the fair access panel if a child or young person is excluded. And it gives guidance around what we know nationally, so national guidance on things like reduced timetables, which I absolutely know can be really difficult for many parents when that's not done properly, especially for children and young people with autism. So that section will be reviewed in December, because there's 4 training sessions around section 2, but there's the final one is in December, and that's really not a training session, but it's looking at that section and trying to unpick with head teachers, you know, what else do we need? Have we got it right? What's working? I'm just looking at other documents there, because there's one on managed move guidance as well. So that whole idea that as one head teacher said, you know, what we really need to do is hold on to our own. So keep our children and young people in their schools. But there's work to do on that. Section 5 is advice and guidance. So that's really helping head teachers and SENCOs and teachers and support staff to know nationally what is thought of as good practice, what their role is, what their responsibilities are, and who they're accountable to. And I think that really helps head teachers who sometimes, well actually often, will be the line manager of the SENCO. And for 10 years I ran the national accredited SENCO course for Cornwall through Plymouth University, and many head teachers of small primary schools were also the school SENCO, and they sort of said to me, oh, I wish we'd had that advice when we were line managing our SENCO. I really wish we'd understood what we were supposed to do. So section 5 is to really help everybody, school governors, everybody, to understand what their role is in relation to SEND.